words translated to symbols with positive and negative numbers. So for example, you may say yesterday, yesterday morning, I deposited $300 on my bank account. This morning, I deposited a certain amount. Just a moment ago, I deposited twice of that same amount. Now, as you can see, this little paragraph with, let's say, 1, 2, 3 sentences is strictly words. Okay. Now, in mathematics, there are important words and they have the symbolic translation. For example, $300 is an important word in mathematics because it signifies quantification. So it has its symbolic translation. Okay. A certain amount has its symbolic translation. Same amount has its symbolic translation. Well, the word amount. Twice is an important word in mathematics because it signifies quantification. Now, there is a conjunction word there that was not placed. It was replaced by a full stop. But if we take out the full stop, we can put a comma and we can write the word and. And is a very important word in mathematics, especially arithmetic, because it also signifies quantification. Because when you say and, it's like you add in, okay? And 1 and 2. So here it is, and has its translation, which is the plus sign. So this little paragraph there can be translated symbolically. I deposited $300. So if you deposit $300, that's a plus. You are adding $300 to what was there already. So the translation for depositing $300, actually the word deposit, we can also highlight it as a keyword in mathematics, symbolizing quantification plus $300. And here's the symbol for the dollar sign. Okay, so this plus $300 is the translation for depositing $300. Okay, this morning I deposited a certain amount. Okay, so then deposited, now we know it's the plus sign, a certain amount. When you do not do a certain value, you represent it by the letter X, commonly used. Okay, any other letter can be used, but it's very common to use X. I could have used Y there to represent a certain amount. Okay, just to differentiate that amount that is different from this amount. So I could have put Y. Okay, so this is the translation for deposited a certain amount. And here's the symbol for and. I deposited twice that same amount. So twice now is two times that same amount. Okay. So here's the symbolic translation for this expression here. I deposited $300 on my bank account. This morning, I deposited a certain amount. And a while ago, I deposited twice of that same amount. This expression can be simplified. A little bit of algebra, not much. There is no quantity, there is no letter on the left side of the plus $300. So it is very common to drop the plus sign. And we can drop the dollar sign. And we have one Y. Okay, so bear in mind, if you do not see a value, they normally call it coefficient, in front of a letter, there is an automatic 1. Okay, because when you see it, you say a Y. What you are seeing there is a Y. Y. How many Y's? One Y. Okay, so you can easily put a number 1 in front of a letter that does not have any number in front of it because there's an invisible 1 there. So you have one Y and two Y's. It's just like saying one mango and two mangoes. If you have one mango and you have two mangoes, you have 3 mangoes altogether. So 1Y and 2Y is equal to 3Y. 1Y plus 3Y is equal to 3. 1Y plus 2Y is equal to 3Y. So this could represent the translation of this. Okay. I started with $300. I deposited $300 first instant, and then I deposited 3 times a certain amount. Once of that amount, and another time 2 times of that amount. Translation of words to symbols.